The encyclopedic novel is a literary concept popularized by Edward Mendelssohn in two 1976 essays, Encyclopedic Narrative and Gravity's Encyclopedia. In Mendelssohn's formulation, encyclopedic novels attempt to render the full range of knowledge and beliefs of a national culture, while identifying the ideological perspectives from which that culture shapes and interprets its knowledge. He states that because they are the products of an epoch in which the world's knowledge is larger than any one person can encompass, they necessarily make extensive use of synecdoche. Other qualities include the full account of at least one technology or science and the display of an encyclopedia of literary styles, ranging from the most primitive and anonymous levels. Key to Mendelssohn's definition is the proximity between the era portrayed in the novel and the era of the novel's writing, as in, for example, James Joyce's Ulysses, and Thomas Pynchon's Gravity's Rainbow. In more general terms, the encyclopedic novel is a long, complex work of fiction that incorporates extensive information, which is sometimes fictional itself, often from specialized disciplines of science and the humanities. There has been considerable debate about the nature and function of the encyclopedic novel since Mendelssohn's exposition of the concept. Clarke attributes to this type of discourse the importance of ordering the information which the writer discovers and retrieves. Moreover, Clarke points out that encyclopedic texts have a long history, from the Renaissance Divine Comedy of Dante to Ezra Pound's modernist The Cantos. She explains that the urge to order the sum of all knowledge grew exponentially during the Renaissance and that by the 20th century we see writers such as Pound and James Joyce, whose Finnegan's Wake is an example of an encyclopedic novel, simply recycling narratives. The encyclopedist's essential job, regardless of the type of discourse, is to gather, recycle, and restate. The illusion of encycloptism experienced by the reader of such a novel might represent the author's exploration of the assumptions and practices embodied in the production of a real encyclopedia. Along these lines, a post-structuralist analysis of the encyclopedic novel sees it as critical of encycloptism, the ostensible goal of which is to capture the sum of all human knowledge. This critique suggests that the encyclopedic project is tainted by its association with master narratives and that it reinforces the illusion of a totalizing system of knowledge. Encyclopedic novels in this view are commentaries on the limits of such narratives and systems. From this perspective, encyclopedic fiction suggests that we should not systematically encycloptize but seek more open approaches to knowledge. While an encyclopedia is a factual reference work, a novel stands in opposition to it as a literary non-referential narrative. One critical review questions why a novelist would paradoxically reference a fictional universe, and what literary purpose is served by the proliferation of the junk text that is often a carrier of the encyclopedic conceit. When excessive real-world data is presented to the reader, the author's purpose is unclear. Those readers who already know the material will find it superfluous, and those who do not know it may find that it adds nothing of interest to the text. Giving examples of junk text in encyclopedic fiction, the review cites the pseudoscientific cetology chapter in Moby Dick and minor character chatter about art and economics in William Gaddis's The Recognitions, 1955, and J.R., 1975. Such writing terminates focused attention, and is in danger of boring the reader. One view of the encyclopedic novel's method, therefore, is that it requires the reader to practice modulating his attention to the text, bringing more consciousness to the act of filtering the important from the tangential. Mendelssohn's 1976 essays examine the encyclopedic tendency through the history of literature, considering the Divine Comedy, Don Quixote, Faust, Moby Dick, and War and Peace, with an emphasis on the modern Ulysses and Gravity's Rainbow. Commonly cited examples of encyclopedic novels in the postmodern period include, in addition to Pynchon, Richard Powers' The Gold Bug Variations, 1991, David Foster Wallace's Infinite Jest, 1996, and Don DeLillo's Underworld, 1997.